For those who weren't at our last presentation, my name is Cody Darcy, and I'm excited to share the next steps in the Central Coast Baseball Academy journey. Last week, I presented to you some ideas about how we can make Central Coast Baseball Academy the best training facility in the San Luis Obispo community. After some purposeful, there's that word from last presentation, contemplation, we have decided the best bang for our buck is to create a strong employee training program. You may be thinking, okay, get it done. Or you might be thinking, how do you plan on creating this program and making it worth the investment? Well, I'm excited to share with you the steps we plan to implement so that we can get the most out of our budget while also creating a training program that is beneficial to CCBA and our employees. Now, as we mentioned in our last presentation, critical thinking strategies were used to complete a thorough examination of what types of training we need. By conducting a needs assessment, it has been determined that our training plan will consist of 3 components: on-the-job training, onboarding training, and a reflection/check-in schedule. Let's just briefly discuss each type of training and the benefits of each component so that we can better understand why each was selected. First, let's look at on-the-job training. On-the-job training is a practical approach to acquiring new competencies and skills needed for a job in real or close to real working environments. The benefits of on-the-job training for CCBA as an organization include team building. With on-the-job training, new employees meet their new coworkers right away and start becoming part of the team. These create familiarity and opens up opportunities for new employees to ask questions, even if their training is complete. Simple and effective with no big setup or long list of training materials. Timelines. A company can teach new employees the necessary skills without slowing down regular work and without requiring extensive resources. Productivity increase. Allowing new employees to jump into their work immediately will allow for enhanced productivity and efficiency. Now we can look at the benefits of on-the-job training for our employees. This includes personalized attention. Instead of using cookie-cutter training videos or learning materials, an employee will get thrown into the action immediately, and a more experienced employee will be partnering with them one-on-one. This will allow for more personalized attention. It also allows for customized instruction so that the trainer can give a new employee extra help where they need it, while limiting instruction on skills they're already proficient at. Engagement and value. New employees will immediately start to feel like they are contributing to the goals of the organization. This can ultimately lead to better trust and job satisfaction. Increased retention. Based on learning clear expectations and responsibilities, employees will experience less stress and will become more confident in their abilities and success within the organization. Next, we can examine onboard training and its benefits. Formal onboard training is a process for new workers to acquire the necessary knowledge, skills, and behaviors to be successful at their jobs. It provides the employee with a smooth transition into their position. A quality onboarding process allows the employee to learn the ins and outs of their new role and employer. The benefits we can expect to see from our onboard training program include increased confidence and abilities. Effective onboarding programs have been shown to help employees become confident and self-sufficient more quickly, reducing the amount of time they need to become productive members of their workforce. Streamlining the process. Developing more effective onboarding programs can help streamline this process, ensuring that employees aren't wasting time on tedious or frustrating tasks that don't help them. Teamwork and camaraderie. Organizations that create an effective onboarding experience have employees who are more bonded to them in multiple ways. When employees feel connected to their organization, they are much less likely to leave. We are going to jump into the 2 training programs and their creation. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten about our reflection and check-in schedule. We will address that in a few slides. With our training programs decided on, the next step was to create our learning objectives. These objectives should also be aligned with the guiding principles and mission/vision of CCBA. It is also important that the learning objectives be performance-based and that the results can be observable and measurable. Using the UBD strategy I talked about last time, we examined what we felt would be the end tasks employees needed to be able to do and created 6 initial learning objectives we wanted to target for our initial program. This doesn't mean these are the only tasks we will ever address, but we felt like doing less to start with will create better results. The learning objectives we established are Employees will be able to demonstrate the proper use of various pieces of equipment within the facility. This includes hack-attack pitching machines, netting system collapse, and expansion. Employees will be able to create and conduct age-appropriate training programs for our players. Employees will be able to demonstrate ethics when handling players and parent complaints. Employees will be able to define and explain the proper steps to treat medical emergencies that can occur inside the training facility and out on the baseball field. Most common are scrapes, cuts, bruises, strains, and sprains. Employees will be able to understand the requirements for mandatory reporting and their obligation to help protect the welfare of our players. Having identified our desired outcomes, aka learning objectives, we had to think about how we wanted our trainings delivered to our employees. Taking into account that there are a variety of learning styles, we determined that we should incorporate a variety of training delivery methods. Our goal is to create online tasks, hands-on activities, and instructional videos. This is where the fun begins and the creation of the actual training materials is done. This step is what we are currently working on at CCBA. At this very moment, we are working hard to create PowerPoint presentations, discussion opportunities, videos, surveys, and other training materials that will be used to provide the necessary information needed to address our learning objectives. I'm excited to be able to share our creations with you next month when we present to you our final training implementation presentation. Executing the training program is not the last step in the process. I must also determine ways to determine the success and effectiveness of the plan. All too often, once the training program is implemented, it is forgotten about. For this reason, I will also create a reflection/check-in schedule. For this task, we will rely on a well-established training evaluation framework, established in the 1950s and still utilized today, titled Kirkpatrick's 4 Levels of Training Evaluation. The Kirkpatrick model consists of 4 levels: reaction, learning, behavior, and results. The first level focuses on the perspective of the learner, titled Reactions, and asks questions concerning the value the employee found in the training. It asks the questions: was the training relevant to your job? Was the training engaging? Did the employee learn valuable information from the training? We have decided we will use an online survey to measure the effectiveness of new trainings based on the perspective of our employees. The second level of the evaluation plan is centered on learning. This is where the employee can demonstrate the knowledge they gained from the training. We have decided that knowledge acquired will be demonstrated through quizzes from our PowerPoint presentations, as well as through hands-on demonstration of skills. The third level of Kirkpatrick's training evaluation plan is centered on the behavioral change that occurs when employees take the information learned in their training and apply it to their job tasks. This assessment can be observed through periodic check-ins. It is recommended that the observations be conducted about 6 months after the completion of the training program. This is where our reflection and check-in schedule will be necessary. Our CCBA check-in schedule will be created, and an informal checklist will be created to make sure employees have implemented and are maintaining the protocols established in their initial training. The great part about this checklist is that it can be used on any employee at any time. The final level of Kirkpatrick's evaluation assessment is based on results. In this phase, the focus lies on whether the target outcomes have been achieved. Looking at all the information gathered throughout the previous 3 phases combined with a final, more detailed look at whether the desired outcomes have been achieved can help to direct the trajectory of the training programs and its success or areas for improvement. Our plan is to utilize the reflection components of the reflection and check-in schedule to complete this phase. We understand that phase 4 will take time to develop, and our focus will be on making sure that there are constantly scheduled reflections so that we can ensure it is working as designed to make CCBA the best it can be for the organization itself and for its employees. Evaluation is such a critical piece to the implementation of our training program. It will provide us with insights that we are moving in the right direction and implementing procedures that are valuable to all of our stakeholders. It is important we ask ourselves, did employees enjoy the training? Did knowledge transfer occur? Did employees' behavior change as a result of training? Did the training have a measurable impact on our learning objectives? An effective training and development program for personnel can be fundamental for a sports organization like CCBA to maintain a high retention rate for employees and volunteers, and to ensure that our employees have all the skills they need to achieve organizational objectives, and to develop into future leaders and valuable members of the CCBA family. At the end of our last presentation, I left you with a quote from Albert Einstein. This time, I want to share one of my favorite quotes, highlighting our goals of setting our employees up for success through the implementation of a quality, hands-on training and onboarding program that also incorporates frequent check-ins and reflection. Bob Pike, known as the trainer of trainers, once said, "Training is a process, not an event. It begins long before participants show up and continues until we see results in our workplace." I want to thank each and every one of you for traveling along the Central Coast Baseball Academy journey with me. This is how legends are made.